I'm here with Adnan Mohammed, rugby writer extraordinary. How long have you been in the business now?
Ooh, too long.
Too
Over
long.
20 years.
This man has been writing for a long time. But I wanted to find out your thoughts in regards to this game. I feel that the Stormers resurrected themselves after almost being dead to rights in this game. What was your thoughts on this game?
Yeah, look, after last week, the Stormers scored 7 tries to 3. People thought it would be a similar type of game. But if one recalls last time they played Ulster, it was also 2-3 points that separated. But the Mani Liberal kick in the end, that I think it was a quarter final.
Well, yeah, somewhat similar today, but
Yeah.
one game.
The thing is, the Stormers didn't create anything in the first half until probably the last minute of the first half, where they put together a few phases and they came close to scoring.
But what do you put that down to? It was a very odd game to watch, especially from the start. It just didn't look like they got going.
Yeah, look, it's just the way they didn't get possession like they normally would. They would start the position, and when they did, you probably saw that they didn't even get close to the 25-meter line of the opposition. They didn't play in the opposition's half, but they were not allowed to.
Yeah.
Because
And on that, do we give credit to Ulster for their game plan in terms of not letting the Stormers get onto the front foot?
Yeah, definitely. If you look at Ulster, it's like all the Irish teams, once they hold on to the ball, they hold it for very long periods. They play through a lot of phases. So they don't easily give the ball away. And they don't kick position. Or like, I think if you look back to last week, if you kick the ball back to the Stormers and you give them opportunity to counter attack, that's when they're at their most dangerous. And if you limit that opportunities, then obviously they don't get those opportunities to score.
But it was a very flat atmosphere. You could sense how the crowd wanted to get into this game. You even saw that Mexican wave going because there was just this very nervous energy in the stadium, and it just the Stormers were fumbling. They just could not get going. And second half, a lot better. Of course, they saw the urgency of having to get this game over the line. What do you think Dobbo would have said to them during halftime?
Yeah, I think they came into this game with a plan, and obviously you always hear them saying afterwards they weren't sticking to the basics. They were making errors and so on.
They forced a lot of things.
Yeah, so they tried to play, but they, like you say, they forced and they made errors. So things didn't come together. But in the second half, they consolidated a bit, and luckily for them, they came very close to score a long range try.
With the team on the knock on.
Yeah, Evan Roos just. I think it was a bit short and he lost the ball.
Yeah.
But that was the type of rugby.
But that spurred them.
That is the type of rugby that everybody thought that they were going to play. And that is what makes the Stormers dangerous. But they need to take risks, and with risk comes mistakes.
Did you sense that when they actually started scoring, when they scored, that the momentum shifted a little bit in favor of the home team, and you could sense the belief coming in? Not that they probably didn't have the belief, but it just they couldn't get the parity that they wanted in this game. But it seemed like once they started getting onto the scoreboard, that they had the belief they could pull this one through.
No, definitely. Look, it was inevitable that they were going to score. They came so close on so many occasions. But when they took a corner kick and the line-out drive, you could sense the urgency there. And the relief also when they scored.
Definitely.
Because that was, it was going to be very difficult for Ulster to come back. Especially because immediately after that, they put the ball down there. I think it was a hooker, kicked the ball. I think a 50-22.
Yeah, I saw that.
And then they had another line out, and it almost came close to scoring again. But then they got the penalty, and that made they put the game beyond Ulster.
But I most likely think that the Stormers would have been happy with the win. Maybe not the performance. They needed to win these last two games to really gain momentum going into the latter stages of this competition. Would that at least have pleased the team management in terms of getting this over the line, even when they struggle to get there?
Yeah, look, if you look at it this way, the Stormers didn't play the way we know they can play. They didn't play well, but they still won the game. And against a team who's quite high up on the log, who's a possible quarterfinal team that can make the quarterfinals.
Yeah.
And is one of the strongest teams in the competition. So to get the win, not play well and still get the win, that's a sign of a quality team. So I think the management will be happy with the win.
And just in terms of this place being a fortress, you could see that they didn't want to lose. They haven't lost in a long while. I think 2 games in the last 2 seasons. Have they made this place a fortress? The
No,
Stormers?
definitely. Any team to come here to win, to beat the Stormers in front of these fanatical supporters, it will be a major achievement because, with the crowd support, and you heard the coach now say there's some goals that are 50-50.
Yeah, so you're referring to Ulster coach.
Ulster coaches. Look, we didn't even see that, but always opposition, they will.
But it's good to hear the other perspective of how they saw the game.
Exactly. Like watching the Bulls last night, you saw some goals that you thought was influenced by the crowd. But I think in the Cape Town Stadium, people don't really, they cheer, but they're not very harsh when it comes to goals. They will make a big noise. But,
I did enjoy the fact that I heard the ref over the stadium loudspeakers. There's one call that he made that we heard. I think that's something to consider. Would you think that would be a good thing, or would it be a bad thing? You're able to hear what the ref is, what his calls are on the field.
Yeah, I also listen in on the TV. The SuperSport
Feed, yeah.
feed. And it's nice to hear the explanation and the interaction with the ref and the players, so that you also get a better understanding.
But there was a time when we heard it in the stadium.
Oh, yeah.
And for me, that was quite interesting. I don't know if it was just at that particular moment a mistake that it wouldn't come through, but that was quite interesting.
Yeah.
But just your final thoughts in terms of, yes, they've gained a little bit momentum. A win is a win. But what would you foresee for them to just become a little bit better in terms of getting up for knockout stages, in terms of being a lot more sharper?
Yeah, I think that the kind of rugby the Stormers plays, I don't know if you saw one of the old ex-Scottish players after their performance last week in Edinburgh, they said that he feels that the Stormers will win this competition because the Stormers plays completely different to many of the other teams, and when they get it right on the day or the night, then it's like when they click. In other words, what happened tonight was that the team disrupted their rhythm, and the Stormers is very much a rhythm team, and that is the key. If they can get into rhythm early into a game, and
then keep the crowd behind them as well.
And that is where they have these games where everything just flows and they score tries.
But therein lies the rub as well, that it could work for them, it can work against them if you get a team that's well organized in terms of disrupting them. And do they have a plan B or another plan should that happen? Because it was hard to watch tonight. Yes, they were desperate, they got over the line, but it also could work out.
Yes, look, they play a high risk, and normally in rugby, high risk rugby don't win finals and semi-finals. But in the case of the Stormers, it has worked for them in the past. So I think that is in their, like Dobbo says, is in their DNA, and that they have to. That is their strength. So they have to take a risk, and if it pays off or not. I think the risk outweighs. It's worth taking the risk.
So high risk, high reward, you said.
Exactly. High risk, high reward.
Okay, so that was the thoughts of Mr. Adnan Mohammed, and I want to say thank you to you for having the chat with me. That was our post-game review of the match, Stormers up against Ulster.